Alright guys, so today we are digging into the ArtSnacks box for September 2018. And if you're not familiar with ArtSnacks, it's a really great monthly subscription. You can pay for it monthly, $24 a month. You can do 6 months for $132, or you can do a year for $240. So each month you get a box about this big. We're going to pop it open. Ooh, we got lots of goodies this month. So let's see, where's our card? So each month you get a little information card that tells you about the items in the box. You also get an art snack. You always get a little piece of candy each month. And where's my... There it is. Ooh, that's a cool one. So you also get a sticker each month with their logo on it. And I really like the one they sent me this year. It looks kind of looks like a journal or a composition book color. I really like that. And then each month you get items wrapped in tissue. And it looks like we got a lot of goodies this month that did not fit in the tissue. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those out. Can't believe all the stuff I got this month. Okay, first let's break into the tissue and see what's in here. Alright, so there's our items inside our tissue. And then we'll move them away and let's look at them one at a time. Alright, so first up on the list, we got a Faber-Castell Albrecht Durer watercolor pencil. And this is a staff favorite. The Faber-Castell Albrecht Durer Magnus watercolor pencil is a pretty big deal. With a 5.3mm core, it's ideal for large-scale drawing. The jumbo size is gentle on the wrist, so you can use it for long periods of time without discomfort. This 100% water-soluble pencil remains extremely vibrant, dry or wet, thanks to the high pigment density and maximum light fastness. When brushed with water, the pencil marks melt onto your paper and intensify in color. So that's what we're getting so far. I don't really think that it intensifies in color. And I colored pretty hard on that one. Let's try again. I'm going to color really hard. Try and lay down lots of color. I think it's kind of neat that they named the pencil after Albrecht Dürer. I guess they got permission to do that. This one's doing a little bit better. It's much more vibrant. So I guess if you want a really strong color, you really need to lay down a lot of color with the color pencil before you go in and add water to it. Alright, our next item is a teeny tiny, if I can get the plastic off, paintbrush. Look at that. That is itty bitty. So this is the Princeton synthetic Sable round brush, and this is an ArtSnack exclusive, filled in the details with this Princeton synthetic Sable round brush. The color holding capacity and natural snap of this brush is enhanced by its perfect blend of golden taklon in multiple diameters. Made to be used with watercolor, this brush will work flawlessly with your new M. Graham & Co. paint. This month we've included a smaller size in your box suitable for fine details and delicate lines. So if you can see on my paintbrush, they've actually given me a 0, and this is a really tiny, very good for details paintbrush. So I really like the paintbrush. I'm going to hold off and wait until we get to the paint, and then I'll test it out with the paint they gave us. Alright, so the next thing I got a group of 3, And these are the Zebra Zensations brush pens, and this is new to ArtSnacks. From super fine lines to big bold strokes, Zebra Zensations brush pens offer incredible versatility. Achieve diverse lettering or illustration styles with 3 different pens included in this month's box: super fine tip, and medium tip. They feature permanent water-resistant pigment ink that delivers deep and rich black color. The flexible brush nibs have excellent bounce and deliver consistent ink flow, responding to changes in pressure with ease. So I like in this month's box, they've even got a little picture with the description. So here's the super fine, and medium tips on here. That's really cool. Okay, so I'm going to pop these open and then we will test them out. Okay, so first we're going to look at the medium. And I love the tip on here. It's just very flexible. So there's the medium. This is the fine. So you can see it is a smidge smaller. And this is the super fine. So much smaller, although they do handle the pressure with the tip. The tip handles the pressure really well, so you can even get almost, not quite medium, I would say fine lines with the super fine, depending on how much pressure you apply. So I'm really liking these. And the cool thing is each one is a different color. So the super fine is kind of like a navy blue. The fine is gray. And the medium is black. So it's something you kind of sort of need to remember or write down somewhere, because this is not in English. And if you look over the whole pen body, there's nothing anywhere that tells you what size it is, or that's in English anyway, or that's a number. So you may want to keep the box or hold on to this or write it down, because you probably will not remember that black is medium, gray is fine, and blue is super fine. So I guess that's why they are different colors, since they're not labeled what size they are. So just something to keep in mind, or you could even take like a little piece of tape and stick it on the pen body and label it, you know, medium, and put the size on here, so you know when you're reaching in to grab one of your pens that you're grabbing the size you want, and you're not having to constantly open it up and look and see what size it is to double check and see what you're grabbing. So just a little tip for that: if you do get these, make sure you either label them with a piece of tape or write down somewhere what color is what size. So let's scooch these over, and hopefully they've had enough time for the ink to dry, and we'll test it out with some water. Alright, so we're kind of sort of holding up with the water. So the superfine is holding its own. The medium had a little bit more ink there, so it's not fully dry, because you can kind of see, well, you can't see with the camera, but I can kind of see that my water is a little gray. So since this has more ink that's going to require drying time, you may want to give the larger pen sizes a little bit more time to dry, since you're laying down more ink. So just kind of make sure before you go in and add water that you've given your ink ample time to dry. Alright, last but not least, they sent us a watercolor tube. So this is M. Graham & Co. Artist Watercolor. Not only is this paint made using honey to keep the moisture intact in the tube and on the palette, it also contains high amounts of pigment to provide intensely bright and rich color. It always dilutes easily with water even after months or years of disuse. So I'm going to break out our tiny paintbrush, and I've added a little bit of water and I'm going to pull it down. It is a very vibrant yellow. It's working really well with my tiny paintbrush. Let's see how fine of a line we can get with the yellow. So that is pretty skinny. So if you're doing watercolor or inking and you want some really fine detail, this is a very good paintbrush for that. I do wish it was maybe a little bit thicker in the handle. It is really, really thin. So I wish maybe they had gone a little bit wider where your fingers rest on it. But other than that, I really like the paintbrush. I love the size. I love that I've got a little tiny paintbrush now for details. So one last thing, I know you guys know that I kind of like to experiment a little bit, so I'm gonna try the watercolor pencil with the watercolor that they sent me and just kind of see how they react together. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this with some water. And we'll add the watercolor. So they seem to be working fairly well together. I don't have anything negative to say about it. I got a really nice green here mixing the two together. And you can see the color pencil is all gone, so all I have now is the watercolor. So it's also good to know that these interact well if I want to use them together. So that's a bonus. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so today was short and sweet. Real quick recap, we got a watercolor pencil. Really like it, not really anything negative to say about that. I got a nice tube of yellow watercolor. I really, really like my size 0 paintbrush they sent me, so I'll definitely be using it a lot. Let's see how much it retails for. So $7. So would I have spent, maybe if it was a splurge day, I probably would have spent $7. So I'm really glad that I got my paintbrush. Also really like my Zebra Zensation pens. Just remember a little tip, they are not labeled by size. So the only thing distinguishing their size is the color, and you may not always remember what the color represents. So if you buy these, maybe write down somewhere what color is what size, or we talked about, you know, getting a little piece of tape or something, sticking it on your pen so when you go in and grab, you know which one you're getting. And that is it for this month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.